Hello and welcome to stream. Where is my model? There it is. How's everybody doing today? I hope that you're all doing well. It is Fetish Friday, and as Rory has pointed out, I am here with you instead of at work, suffering and dying, and listening to my creepy podcast all day. That is because this weekend is unfortunately America Day. Uh, yeah, couldn't do that any more sarcastic than I did. Um, Tomorrow is the 4th of July, and uh, I just want to say if you aren't sure how to celebrate the 4th of July, that's fine. I don't personally think that America should be celebrated in any way, shape, or form right now. Personally, I think being an American is fine and having pride in who you are is okay, but anything beyond that is just very weird in current times. I think this country is very shameful, and everything that it's doing is incredibly shameful. Pretty much since 2025, maybe actually since 2024. Not to say like there wasn't shame before that, just like there is a lot of reasons right now to not like being an American, and that's fine. That's totally okay, because I'm right there with you. I am completely ashamed of this country. I am more ashamed of it, I feel like, every single day, which is wild since I did not know that there were levels of shame where I kind of wish people did not know my nationality. But that's fine. That's okay. It's how things are right now. I will say, if you are tempted to like go out and buy your fireworks or whatever, maybe that money is better spent donating to causes that currently matter to resist this administration. Particularly causes related to like queer people or black people, people of color, disabled individuals, whatever you can find, really. There isn't a demographic that the Trump administration has not touched at this point, as they continue to try and tear down everything that this country once tried to push forward as great. Maybe that's not the right phrasing, but everything we used to know is normal, I suppose. With the newest thing being the bullshit surrounding student loans. Don't even get me started. But yes, tomorrow is America Day, and it is okay to want to celebrate that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think that there is a separate identity associated with being proud of where you live versus actually being proud of your country. It's fine to say I live in America and, I want to celebrate the fact that I live here. It's not fine to say I am an American. Everything that's happening in my country right now is great, and I want to commemorate that, because it's not, and you shouldn't. All right. Getting this off to a great start. This little indie game is going to love me whenever they see that I did this. Okay, anyway. We're playing a game called Burn the Midnight Oil today. It is a demo that I found during Steam Next Fest, and I really wanted to play it, but never got around to it, which is okay. This is a mystery game, I believe. I don't know very much about it because I saw that there was a hot Hellhound boy in this game and just kind of lost my mind. So, yeah. I was saying that if you had like the intention to like buy fireworks or like do a big celebration or something, you should just donate that money to causes that resist the Trump administration. But also that too, like there's no harm in going to a display. There's no harm in like going to a party or whatever. Like all that stuff is relatively harmless. The harm stuff is, when you start pushing the nationalism, which that's when everything gets icky and nasty, and you shouldn't do that. Anyway, I don't know how long this is. I do know it has a very lengthy content warning, which I put up on screen. So that's nice. Not every game has that. So let's check it out. All right, so down at the bottom of the screen there is our content warning for Burn the Midnight Oil. If you see anything in there that you would rather not deal with today, that is perfectly fine. You are more than welcome to minimize the stream or exit it, whatever you want to do. I always say protect yourself before anything else because that's what matters. So make your decisions accordingly, as the game has been kind enough to give us all of those warnings. All right. Now we're gonna look at the settings. All right, I'm gonna turn the text speed up slightly because I cannot stand slow text speed. It's just a thing with me. I do not like it. Okay, what is extras? Oh, that's the guys that made it. Okay, cool. So this was a Kickstarter at some point. I actually didn't hear about this Kickstarter. I probably would have supported it if I knew about it. It seems like delightfully queer. But yeah, this was a Kickstarter, and it looks like it was funded at $100,000, which is neat. And I really like the screenshots and colors and everything, so I'm excited to get into this. All right, we're obviously playing as the Hellhound Boy. Like, if you had to question that, I'm ashamed of you. All right, his name is Dante. His date of birth is 2/7/1953. He's a demi, not hellhound werewolf. I can't read his occupation, and I couldn't read it in the screenshots either. I think that says I'm hot. I think that's what that says. It was his birthday yesterday. Maybe. I think that's February 1953, though. I'm not actually sure. Oh, I'm not. Well, I read hot, so that tells you where my mind is already. His emergency contact is Orion Walker. Let's read his personal history. Several years ago, Dante struck a deal with Orion, a former friend of his mother. Stuck in North Haven ever since, Dante unwillingly works as a cop. He spends his nights chasing criminals and waiting for the day where he'll finally have fulfilled his end of the deal. At last, Orion puts Dante on his final case. There's a suspicious new drug on the market he wants Dante to investigate, but the roots of this problem might be even more dangerous than they thought. Alrighty. The rain hits the window in a peaceful, hypnotic pattern. Orion stares outside, thoughts wandering. He has no work left tonight. He is done with moving, too, so he could go home. What's this? Oh, we got a glossary. Alright, so this is Orion Walker, an inspector in the Supernatural Crime Division, making him Dante and Raoul's superior officer. Despite being a vampire, Orion has a human family. Both his wife and his daughter are aware of his identity and his job. Officially, Orion's daughter Alice is adopted and not his biological child. Vampires shouldn't be able to have children, making Alice a miracle that has to be kept a secret. If her identity gets out, it might catch the attention of questionable people. Perhaps it is because of this similarity that Orion finds it difficult to not constantly worry about Dante. He is done with moving, too, so he could go home. But to what? It's not like being at home is any different from standing around here all night. At the same time, he knows he can't stay. Daytime isn't for creatures like him. He is expected to hide away, never to be seen by the ones who wander the hallways after the sun has risen. A deep sigh escapes him. He is sure that it's the rain that's making him melancholic. It had rained the day his mentor died, too. Why the deep frown? Orion feels himself twitch at the sound of someone else inside the room. Only the familiarity with her voice can ease his initial tension. He locks eyes with the woman reflected in the window. It's you. It's me. Francesca sits down on Orion's desk, giving it a pat. Alright, so this is Francesca Collins, Dante's hellhound mother. She passed away when Dante was still young. As a good friend of Orion, she asked him to support Dante after her passing. Oh, I guess that's a ghost then. Were it anyone else, he would think them rude, but this is Francesca. If she suddenly behaved politely around him, he would think she was sick. They're each other's precious friends, which is more than Orion has had in a long time. New office, new furniture. It's nice. It is indeed. I was planning on inviting you over sometime, since I guessed you'd want to see it. But speaking of inviting you, did someone let you in? One could almost think that Francesca belonged here, thanks to that natural arrogance of hers. But Orion doubts any officer here would actually have let a stranger walk right into the station for no apparent reason. Not exactly. So you... Orion stops himself mid-sentence. If she wants to get somewhere, she finds a way, even if it means somehow breaking into a police station unseen. She could have met with him outside, which she usually does, but it seems today is different. You know you shouldn't be here. I stopped by your flat, but you weren't there. What else should I have done? Still, breaking in is dangerous. I wouldn't call it breaking in. It was more like entering through unusual means. Orion is admittedly a bit curious, but he won't bother to ask how she did it. She'd only refuse to tell, just to tease him. Besides, that's not what he's focused on right now. What's much more interesting is her scent. She smells human. Are you wearing perfume of some kind? There are items like that out there, made to mask your scent, change it into something else. Rather than the price, it's finding someone who makes them that is more complicated. Orion doesn't understand why she would go through the trouble. Normally, she more or less smells like a werewolf. There's no reason to hide that. Werewolves, supernaturals who are able to switch between human and werewolf form. Most werewolves find it easy to integrate into human society, while still keeping their pack together. Francesca smiles and looks around. Her tone is playful, as it most often is. This office suits you much better than the old one. A bit empty, though. I think it'll need some decorations. I would have brought something if I'd known you were moving. Francesca. There is no making her talk about something she doesn't want to say. Giving up, he plays along. I would have told you about it, but I only heard about the promotion last evening. When Advik decides on something, you might be faced with sudden changes without any warning. This was such a case. Advik is the chief superintendent of the Supernatural Crime Division in North Haven. You're an inspector now. Your boss sure is a spontaneous guy, but congratulations on getting promoted, if you're happy about it. Otherwise, my condolences. Is he happy? For a moment, Orion pauses to consider his answer. I hope I will do it justice. Of course you will. You're an excellent officer, Orion. One of very, very few. Believe me, this city is lucky to have you. Francesca turns quiet. She suddenly seems a bit downcast, which is unusual, and the hesitation on her face makes Orion uncomfortable. She doesn't like being seen as anything other than her confident self. Is everything all right? You know that I'm always here to help you. Now she has to chuckle. Orion has helped her only once so far, and it had been a giant mess of her being accused of a crime she didn't commit. She had taken a liking to him for believing that she was innocent. Their meetings since then have been irregular, but when she does come by, Orion is happy to make time. Francesca is the only one he can confide in. If she is indeed in need of his help, he'll do whatever is necessary. There is no need to worry about getting involved in something he can't do. If she is here to ask him, then it is within the realm of his means and morals. But that is not what she's here for. I probably won't be able to come visit you anymore. We'll have to stay in contact another way. Orion tenses up. Is someone after you? If anyone catches wind of her identity, that she isn't the werewolf she portrays herself as, but rather a hellhound, then she is in danger. Hellhounds, a demonic subspecies. Hellhounds are described as large canine beings with fire-related abilities. Despite some similarities, they are not related to werewolves in any way. Being natural fighters and very loyal to their pack, hellhounds were creatures you should avoid provoking. Even so, there were several wizards who attempted to abduct helpless hellhound pups for unsavory reasons. Many rumors had appeared since all the hellhounds vanished decades ago. Some say they've gone extinct, others claim they never existed at all. Hey Leon, welcome. We barking for Domi, but aw, thank you. It has been a while since hellhounds completely vanished, hiding away where no one could find them. Not everyone cares about finding one in the first place, but those that do are dangerous. If there is someone after her already... Oh no, I'm safe. She playfully waves a hand and he calms down, though he glares briefly at her. She grins, amused to have gotten a reaction out of him. But if it isn't that, then... Is this related to your husband? Your mate? The spouse of a werewolf or hellhound. Werewolves might change their mates, but hellhounds mate for life. A mate doesn't necessarily have to be from the same species. Yes. She touches her belly. Orion stops himself from rushing over. I'm pregnant. Congratulations. Thank you. Her voice is warm and filled with love. Orion has never met her husband, but he has seen him from afar, a normal human. The relationship isn't going to be easy, but Francesca always wanted a mate and child. Her wish is finally being fulfilled. So yes, I will be focused on taking care of him. Makes things a bit more complicated. Him? You already know the gender? She didn't mention being pregnant the last time they met, which wasn't that long ago, and her stomach is still flat. She can't be too far along. I'm guessing this is like in the past or something, since she's pregnant, but it also says in the tips that she's dead. Unless she's having a ghost baby. Which, I mean, I guess that's a thing. Not officially, but I have a hunch. Francesca's instincts aren't to be underestimated, so Orion is tempted to believe her. A son. I already thought of a name. Do you want to hear it? Her excitement is infectious. Orion feels himself smile. I'd love to. Dantalian, or Dante. That one's a bit snappier, don't you think? It's a good name. Did you come up with it together with your husband? Yeah, this must be in the past. He left the full decision to me. We want our boy to have a name that suits a hellhound, and my husband hardly has any idea what those would be. It'll be the only connection he will have to my side of the family for a long while. Her voice drops again. She sighs, visually affected by the ups and downs of her own emotions. Orion's eyebrows scrunch together. Although hellhounds and werewolves aren't the same species, they do share various canine characteristics. One of them is their pack, which is of great importance to both. Do you not intend to introduce him to your pack? Is there a reason to hide him? Because he's half human? Hellhounds don't care about that. Francesca closes her eyes and inhales deeply, steadying herself. We will stay here with the humans. My son will grow up as one. No going back to my home, at least not anytime soon. Orion goes through what he knows about hellhounds. It's not a lot, either unconfirmed rumors he has heard from other supernaturals or tidbits from Francesca. As far as he knows, young hellhounds are still too weak, and worse, too unstable, to protect themselves. That makes them easy targets for people who want to catch a hellhound. They'd never be safe out in the open. It'd be more secure for Francesca to take her child and husband into hiding, join her family, in that place no one knows. A place where a young hellhound can be raised without worry. That sounds like a great risk to take. Will he be safe here? Well... Francesca brushes a hand through her hair. There's only one way or the other. Either we join my family until my son is grown, or we stay here. My husband won't be happy in my home. It's too different. So I decided we would stay here. A hellhound's mate and child are always equal. Francesca would never make a decision that favored one over the other. And the child? It's not as dangerous as you think, as long as we do it in the right way from the start. It will be a human family. My son will be raised as a human, his father will be one, and I will be one too. Orion sniffs the air again. She still smells human. This is likely part of that plan. He hadn't expected the perfumes to be so effective. We will completely escape the attention of anyone supernatural. As long as we do that, there is nothing to fear. Oh, thank you for petting me. Although it will mean you're giving up a lot of yourself. Hardly a big sacrifice to make for the happiness of my loved ones. So the plan is to seem as human as possible? Yes. Don't stand out. Don't attract attention. Be a normal family of humans who have no idea who is living amongst them. Don't meet with any supernaturals. That includes you. Orion chuckles into the silence that has fallen upon them. Don't look so guilty. I understand. If you regularly met up with a vampire, people would get suspicious of how you know each other. One of the most common terms for their kind. Contrary to popular belief, vampires aren't solitary creatures, as they tend to be tied to a clan. Most of the clans do avoid fraternizing with other non-humans, however, also known as too many names to count. It will move away as well, I imagine. Not many people have seen me around, but we won't take the risk. I'm also going to do something about my looks so that even if we do run into someone, I won't be recognized. A shame for my beautiful face, don't you think? Your husband is very lucky to have a wife that is willing to do so much for him and your child. Oh, don't flatter me. You'd do the same if you had a family. I would. But it doesn't matter anymore. He'd accepted that he would never have a family when he allowed himself to be changed. He accepted it even before that. Don't say that. You're immortal. You're too young to talk as if you'll never find love. I'm hardly young. You are, for a vampire. Believe me, there will be more than enough women who will appreciate your mature charm, even as a vampire. I'm not interested in a relationship right now, let alone with a human. I said the same about humans before I met my husband, and now look at me. Fate will decide for you. Francesca falls silent once more. If you can, yes. Considering you're technically immortal, you will outlive me easily, if needed. You call me young, but not yourself? You have several centuries ahead of you. I know. I'm just saying that if needed, and if you're not busy with your own family or anything. Could my son come to you for help when he needs it? I'm offended you even think you need to ask. Your husband and your son may contact me at any time. Francesca puts a hand on her chest, exhaling slowly. That's a relief. The thought of my boy being alone has been nagging me since I knew I was pregnant. Be honest. There really isn't anyone after you? No one. I am probably overthinking, but I still wanted to talk to you about it. It was... She doesn't finish her sentence. A hunch. Neither of them want to think about why she feels so worried when there is no need to be. Francesca slips off the table. She brushes off her clothes, then smiles at Orion. You're leaving? Yes, it's about time. My husband is waiting with all of our things packed. I'm not sure when or if we'll ever see each other again, but I'll send you letters. They could be traced. I'll get them to you without anyone noticing. That much I can do. You just want to boast about your child, don't you? Maybe. She laughs, more lighthearted now. Well, I guess this is goodbye. Farewell, Orion. Farewell, Francesca. I wish you the best. Thank you. Orion watches her leave. The door falls shut with a sound of finality. For some reason, he has a feeling that they will not meet again. A hunch. A hunch can be wrong. He prays it is. Stay safe. You and your family. The rain starts to come down harder. Orion sighs, turning away from the dreary sight, and he gets ready to go home. Whoa. My little boy. My Dante. Always remember, I love you, but that's why you can't run free. You have to hold back. You have to keep control. Keep calm. Keep quiet. Don't let go. Don't lose yourself. Don't burn. Don't burn. Don't burn. Don't die, my child. Damn it. Oh, shit. Wow. He's a lot harder. He's a lot hotter than I thought he was. Damn. Alright, so this is Dante, a half-human, half-hellhound who works in the Supernatural Crime Division. Having struck a deal with his boss and his late mother's friend, Orion, Dante is unable to resign for the moment. To protect his real identity, Dante pretends to be a werewolf. The only one who knows the truth is Orion. Inside the empty room, there's no alarm clock to tell the time or wake him up. Despite that, curled up underneath the sheets, Dante opens his eyes just in time to get ready for work. I was wondering if there was a way to, like, see without the text box. It looks like the only way is to right-click. Oh, shit. I'm messing everything up. I'm messing everything up because I'm trying to see his underwear. I shouldn't be doing that, but I still want to. Looks like he's wearing briefs. I wonder if this guy's Domi's type. Yeah, you knew, like, immediately this guy's Domi's type. This is the whole reason we're playing this game, by the way. The air is cool. It's comfortable as long as he stays under the sheets, but when it hits his skin, goosebumps form. Yeah, I like the collar for sure. The collar is a lovely... I love the little name tags. Like, you see collars a lot, but name tags are kind of uncommon. So I like seeing I like seeing the name tags. It's very cute. The air is cool. It's comfortable as long as he stays under the sheets, but when it hits his skin, goosebumps form. It'd be more comfortable to sleep in his other form. It'd be more comfortable to ever be in it at all, but he's not going to risk it. The world won't allow him a slip-up. Hellhounds are easily mistaken for werewolves, as long as they remain in human form. But the moment he lets his animalistic features out, the differences would be far too obvious. Dante prefers not to out himself by accident. He's been sleeping like this since childhood anyway. Sitting up, Dante stretches, easing some of the tension that crept into his muscles while he slept. One of those dreams again. I didn't need to start my night like that. Sluggishly, he drags himself out of bed. Whatever. It's not a dream he's unfamiliar with, but there hasn't been a single time when he's enjoyed waking up to the voices of his mother. Hold on, I need to take a screenshot. I think Mel would like to see this guy. Shit. But in the end, a dream is only a dream. When the lights in the room turn on, it quickly fades. Dante rubs his eyes, blindly stumbling towards the bathroom for a shower. Getting ready for a job at night is no different from getting ready for a job during the day. Wash up, change clothes, eat breakfast or not. If you ask Dante, it's a waste of time. Should have everything. That tank top, or that halter top, is literally fighting for its life around those fucking huge tits. God damn. There's little Dante has in his room, and even less that he cares to bring to work. He's ready in no time. Hair still damp, he walks towards the door, but stops midway. There's footsteps. 2 pairs. Let's open the door. Dante holds back a sigh and pulls the door open. It swings inwards, with no risk of hitting the child, who is quickly approaching. Ah! Dante! Good evening. You opened the door before I could knock again. I told you I want to knock. Yeah. The girl, half Dante's size, pouts, but throws herself against his waist anyway. Dante gives her back a pat, which is apparently not friendly enough, as she stretches her arm upwards, wordlessly demanding a hug. Dante looks down at her. Pick me up! You're heavy. She's not heavy. You're strong. He is strong. Giving in, Dante bends down to pick Alice up. She wraps her arms around his neck too tightly, making him grimace. Alright, so this is Alice Walker, Orion's human daughter. Though she's not a supernatural herself, Alice is aware of their existence and her father's identity. She doesn't understand why her parents are trying to keep her from learning more about non-humans. Besides her parents, Alice's favorite person in the world is Dante. She is determined to adopt him into her family, and despite his sometimes rough behavior, she is convinced that Dante loves her as much as she loves him. Aw, he had a daughter after all. So he must have found a wife, or maybe adopted or something. Who knows? If you choke me, I'm putting you right down again. The girl ignores his scolding tone, clinging to Dante even tighter. Awkwardly stabilizing in her arms, Dante decides to glare at the second person approaching. It's easier than glaring at the kid. Alice's father sees no reason to hurry over. He just tips his head in greeting, perfectly relaxed about letting his little girl cling to a supernatural. Oh man, he looks older than in the beginning. Let me guess, Orion will be the daddy love interest. I don't actually think he's a love interest. He's like our godfather. Good evening. Instinct makes Dante want to return the greeting in kind. Out of spite, he doesn't. What are you doing here? And more importantly, what is she doing here? Alice allows herself to be put down. Even though there's a soft growl accompanying Dante's words, she looks mostly unimpressed. I'm not allowed to come? This is no place for a child, he wants to say. This corner of the city is dangerous. You know that. Besides, it's not good for a child to spend so much time with non-humans. What comes out of Dante's mouth instead is, you are. Cursed be those big, innocent puppy eyes. Are you mad I'm here? It's hard for Dante to be. You don't get mad at pups. Not really. Even if they're not an actual pup. No. So there's no problem. Still doesn't explain why you're here. With a chuckle, Alice's father joins the conversation. I just picked her up from her father's place. Or from her friend's place. She doesn't want to go home before she says hello to everyone at the station. You being the most important. Ryan's face is soft when he looks at Alice. Dante doesn't know the Orion from before Alice was born, but he knows enough about vampires to know what she is. A literal miracle. A vampire and a human shouldn't be able to have a child, and yet here she is. That she is Orion's biological child is carefully kept a secret, so he must have found a mate after all. Despite all the obstacles in their way, they're a happy family. And for reasons Dante doesn't get, Alice keeps trying to pull him into it. I really, really wanted to see you. You never come by, so if I don't go to you, we never meet. Which would be preferable. I don't agree with her visiting the office either, but you know that it's impossible to stop her from doing what she wants. Orion's words aren't quite the truth. He'd never let Alice near anything that could cause her harm. It's because he's confident that the station is a safe place that he lets her visit for a couple of minutes. I'm not scared at all, because everyone is nice. Nice? He can't agree with that. Raoul aside, most of Dante's coworkers are ready and happy to start a fight the moment they're challenged. As funny as Dante thinks it is to have an entire division full of questionable personalities, he wouldn't exactly call them nice. Everyone just acts friendly around Alice because she's a little pup. Himself included. Besides, you and Dad protect me anyways, right? I'll always protect you. Dante? Alice reaches out to grab Dante's hand. He recoils, though his resistance melts away the moment he sees Alice's expression drop. We would. Alice's expression wavers for a moment, but she catches herself quickly. I knew it! Behind Alice, Orion watches them, too amused to intervene. I hate that smile. Are we leaving now, or are we going to just stand around and talk forever? Orion's eyes shift away from Dante's. He touches Alice's shoulder, and the girl hums in a questioning tone. Alice, would you let us speak alone for a moment? Okay. She takes a step past Dante, but she stops to look up at him. Only when Dante waves his hand at her does she run onward, vanishing around the corner to explore the bedroom. Your room is so boring! There's nothing here! One day I'll make you decorate it. I'll get you a new lamp and curtains, and then a bookshelf. Her voice trails off. Dante listens to the sounds for another moment, steps towards the window, then the squeak of it being opened. Knowing that she's successfully distracted and not eavesdropping, Dante and Orion turn to each other. So, what do you want? Don't think I believe your shitty excuse. That's not why you're here. I am picking her up, and she did want to come here. I didn't lie. But I'll admit it's good to see you in advance. There's a new case. And there's one every day. What? Are you here because you didn't think I'd be on time? Too bad. I'm awake. It's a task I can only hand to you and Raoul. If he's saying that, he knows Dante wouldn't want the case. He's trying to get all the fuss out of the way without Raoul around. Just because Raoul loves to rile Dante up whenever he tries to evade work. Sounds like it's gonna be a massive bother. I'm not doing it. You have no other choice. I do. You just heard it. I'm not taking. We have a deal, Dante. That damn deal. That's why Dante's a police officer in the first place. There's no way he'd ever work as one otherwise. Just a couple more months, then I can finally leave. Let's demand more money. Dante doesn't want to say yes immediately just because. Fine, then I want a raise. What for? You never buy anything. Your room is as empty as on the day you moved in. He's right, but Dante still might need the money for later. Blackmail me, and I can't even get paid for doing my job? A deal is not blackmail. And if you do want your paycheck, you take whatever case I give you. But I'll think about the raise. A raise they both know might be completely useless if Dante does as he's planned and leaves as soon as the deal is over. Your answer? I can't stand you, old man. Ryan crosses his arms in satisfaction. He ends the conversation in a soft tone. Oh, thank you for the water. I really do need you on this case. Dante audibly exhales, refusing to look at Orion any longer. Instead, he turns back towards the interior of his flat. Grabbing his jacket, he calls for Alice. Alice! We're leaving. Coming. When the little girl rushes over, Dante stretches out his hand to her. She takes it, beaming. Don't smirk. Not smirking. I'll let you go if you don't stop. I'm stopping. See? I'm completely serious. Right. Dante locks the door behind him. There's nothing inside to steal, but Orion's the one paying for it, so Dante doesn't want to risk any damage. He owes the man enough already. The sun went down a while ago, leaving behind the darkness that Orion, as a vampire, can freely move in. Ever since Dante started working at the station, nighttime has become his new normal as well. It's an odd feeling. Alright, so that is the SCD, the Supernatural Crime Division, a secret police division focused on investigating and preventing supernatural crime, led by a wizard called Advic. To the public eye, they appear as the Special Crimes Division. He's always been more comfortable walking around in the dark, but having a regular job is completely different from sleeping and waking up wherever he pleases. That said, Alice is a human child, and the yawn slips out of her even as she tries to stifle them. Not wanting anyone to suggest for her to go home without visiting the station, she quickly speaks up. Dante, are you free this weekend? Sunday? Why? I'm going to bake cookies with Mom, and she said, if you want some, you can come over. In the afternoon, though, so Dad will be inside his room. Dante doesn't have to look down at Alice to know that she's fidgeting. Not scared of hugging me, not scared of holding my hand, but scared to hear a rejection. Let's give in. Seems like it'd be mean to reject her. I'll drop by. I'm not gonna promise win, though. Really? If I say I'll come, I will. Yeah, I think the story does take place in Britain. Or, maybe, a vaguely British inspiration. Because they've said flat, they've said mum. He does have 2 tags, yes. I wonder what they might be bells, actually. No, they look taggish. I think they are tags. I wonder what they say. Thank you. You'll love the cookies, and you can eat dinner with us, too. We get a lot of meat for you, if I feel like it. Do you think you'll be there for lunch? Mom will want to know. Depends on when I get up. When will you get up? Whenever I wake up. Why do you not have an alarm clock? He indulges her curiosity before he can think to point out that he doesn't have anything inside his flat. Can't stand the ticking. How about a digital one? Waste of electricity. I don't need one. I can sleep whenever. You do have a job. And have I ever overslept? On purpose, yes. See? I don't need a clock to be on time when I want to be. So you just go to sleep and wake up when you want? Yeah. I wish I could do that. You can, if you practice. Maybe? He's not actually sure humans can do that. So you really have no clock at all? I do have one in a drawer, if I need it. wrapped up in several layers of fabric to muffle the annoying ticking, drives him insane. Why did you buy it if you weren't going to use it? I didn't. Your father did. The only things Dante bought for the room were a number of pillows. Dad, why did you buy one for Dante if he wasn't going to use it? A long time ago, Orion still hoped that he could convert Dante to a normal lifestyle. He'd given that up quickly enough. Well, you never know when it might be useful. At this moment, the police station comes into view. We're here. I'll quickly give Dante and Raoul their briefing for the night, and afterwards we go home. Alright? Alright. And as usual, no leaving the room, no bothering anyone who looks tired, no touching anything. No talking to Raoul unless he's holding his coffee and I see him at least take a sip. Did Dante tell you to do that? No, Raoul did. Certainly something that Raoul would say. Well, I'm sure he's already had enough time to make his coffee. We're a bit later than usual. Not my fault. My fault? Your stubby legs still need time to grow. But you're not saying it's my fault, huh? Their Twitter says Germany for location, so maybe some Brits on the team. A lot of people go there for tech/software dev. Oh, interesting. Okay. Wonder what kind of creature Raoul is. I've seen a picture of him through Steam because I looked at all the screenshots before picking this out, but I have no idea what creature he is. So we're about to find out together. Before that, though, I need to be right back. So don't go anywhere. We will continue shortly. Thank you for becoming my dog. We're back to stream. Let me save real quick. I am enjoying this a lot. I'm really liking the vibe of this game. Damn, I wish I'd known about the Kickstarter. I would have supported the hell out of this, man. Because this is like right up my alley all the way around. But that's okay. Kickstarters and I are very much not crossing the same paths like we used to ever since I left Twitter, so I know about very few of them. And usually the only ones I learn about are people bringing them to my attention. Which sucks, but it is what it is. Alright, let's continue. As soon as Orion opens the door, he smiles. Ah, there's Raoul. Dante's partner officer and one of the few humans in the SCD. Oh, Raoul's a human. Thanks to his family's connections and knowledge, Raoul got glimpses into the world of supernaturals very early, and his fascination with it has only grown, ultimately resulting in him joining the SCD. As a human child, Alice has little understanding of how quickly some supernaturals can locate people inside a room, but locating Raoul is easy, even for her. He is in the little corner where the coffee maker is, just like at the start of every shift. Wow, we have immediate titty focus. Damn. Alice runs up to him as he takes a sip from the mug. Raoul, hello. Did you refuel? Is the conversation function working, or do I need to wait? Oh, wow, he's cute. Oh, wow. Okay, the artists of this game know exactly what to focus on. Like, it is so clear. I love it. I love all of the art in this game so far. It's so fucking good. I got a chicken and halloumi rice and rice box, and I always think there's not a lot of rice, but there's always so much rice. Yeah, I always have trouble finishing rice dishes. Myself. I love the chest harness. I absolutely love it. Titty bondage is like one of my favorite things, which is shocking considering how little of it I get. But anyway, neither here nor there. It's enough. Good evening to you as well. He then turns towards Orion. Good evening, sir. And to Dante. Hello? What? No good evening for me? No, I don't want you to have one. You want to see how quickly I can ruin your evening? Do the both of you want to have a bad night? I already told Dante, but I have a task for you. Raoul takes a big gulp from his mug. Evening ruined. Thank you very much, sir. Alice watches the adults with worry. Is there a big problem, Dad? It's just work as usual. Go and say hello to the others. I won't be long. Fine. Raoul sighs, leading the way up to his desk. He takes the chair, side-eyeing Dante as he sits next to a neat stack of paperwork. Don't sit on my desk. Would you rather I lie down on it? Raoul looks like he's about to throw something, but holds himself back. If you like the table that much, should we get a leash for that collar of yours and chain you to it? Wow. Yeah, let's do the first response, obviously. I'm all up for games, but maybe not in public. I don't know about you, but I don't need observers. Doesn't turn me on. He watches Raoul process that last bit of conversation, the words seeping much too slowly into his caffeine-deprived brain. Sir, permission to stab him? Denied. Shame. Castration might have helped him calm down. You started it. And with a child in the room, even. Raoul closes his eyes. If he has some sort of mantra to keep calm, now is when he's using it. He turns to Orion, ignoring Dante completely. If there's a case, it might have been better to not bring Alice along. She looks worried. The boys sure are flirty at first sight. Yes, they are, and I'm loving it. Orion joins them at the desk. I wish she was worried. It's because of me and Dante. She has far too little fear of supernaturals. I guess it's positive that she accepted having a vampire father this quickly. You two want to talk about childcare? Do it when I'm not around. It was a terribly important briefing already. It is rare for you to give us the briefing directly, sir. Did something happen today? Last night, actually. You two were gone already, and I was doing a final round of patrols before heading home. Orion leaves for a moment, then returns, a folder in hand. He taps on it as he talks. It's mostly quiet. I ran into a fight in front of Mirage. Nothing unusual at first glance. A popular club for supernaturals in North Haven, owned by the werewolf Alfred Chadwick. Humans in the know are also allowed inside. But one of the men was unusually aggressive. It was almost impossible to get them off each other. Just when I was about to resort to harsher methods, one of them... Orion stops. The way he's hesitating is unusual. He usually knows what to say. He changed. Mutated, you could call it. Did you arrest him? He died. What? It escalated that far? Did you accidentally break his neck? No, he died on the spot. From 1 second to the next, he simply fell over and stopped moving. Raoul inhales deeply. Dante has heard him curse often enough, but this time, the man only glances in Alice's direction. His hands move, forming a curse in sign language. Dante knows it well enough to recognize that by now. So does Orion. Don't curse in front of her. Not even in signs. I'm not. Raoul quickly puts his hands away. Did you get hurt? Doesn't smell like blood. Shit. Be quiet, Dante. I didn't ask you. As Dante already confirmed, no. Nothing that didn't heal immediately. The problem is that we have never seen anything like that happen before. His body was in an abnormal state. Pathology? On it, but no updates yet. It didn't tell us what it looks like. We are going to investigate this. Why exactly? Do we think there's more mutants around? We do. I heard mutters of people saying this wasn't the first time they saw that happening to someone. There has to be a cause. So what do we look for in people? Visually, I mean. Even a smell, if you have one? I'd love to tell you, but it's hard to explain. There was no unusual smell to speak of, and the other changes were... You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. Great. Nothing has happened since yesterday, but anything that might catch the attention of humans has to be solved as soon as possible. There's not just one, but several governmental institutions related to keeping humans oblivious to the existence of supernaturals. A rampaging mutant would make that considerably harder. Aw, man, my camera broke. So mantras, hand signs, the human boy is a bit of a mystic. Ooh, interesting. I like the music in this game. This game is just a slam dunk in every direction. Like graphics, music, character design, all of it. It's like all good so far. I'm enjoying the hell out of this. That is to say, if they don't solve this case as quickly as possible, it might put human eyes on their back. And then... no way in hell am I going to deal with Abraxas running around here. Captain of the SSF's North Haven branch, the lone vampire on his team. His agents respect him as a leader, but his loyalty to the SSF has made him unpopular with the local supernaturals. Rumor has it that Abraxas once lived as an aristocrat, and he still owns a mansion somewhere on the outskirts of North Haven. He has declined to comment. So take care of it before he catches wind of the issue. I need you two to check all the clubs around Mirage. Talk to anyone suspicious. Watch anyone that stands out. You know your work. Orion places the folder on the table. Raoul immediately pulls it over to himself and skims its contents, but it's so thin that he's done in no time. So why do we have to take this shitty case? Reason number one, you might have to talk to humans, and Raoul is one of the few people in the night shift who passes as a decent police officer. You trying to say I don't look reliable in human eyes? You know exactly what I'm trying to say. Admittedly, Dante looks more like a thug than an officer. Raoul is very helpful when it comes to convincing humans that his badge isn't fake. I'll take care of it as usual, sir. Don't worry. Number 2, I want you to keep an eye out for any new substances on the street, in case it's related. Zeno might know something, and you are the only one he'll speak to, Dante. A self-taught wizard who designs drugs for the North Haven cartel. His formulas are responsible for the cartel's sudden increase in popularity, as they have greatly reduced the number of side effects of supernatural drugs. Zeno is surprisingly well liked by many supernaturals thanks to his work and cheerful personality. However, he is just as disliked by anyone trying to catch him, as Zeno is exceptionally good at escaping people's grasps over and over again. So Raoul goes to question people and I hunt down Zeno. You're not getting out of the boring tasks, Dante. Raoul is your partner, so don't even think about going off on your own. He's there to keep an eye on you. Sometimes I feel like a dog trainer. Don't bite, Dante. Be good, Dante. No barking, Dante. Dante growls at that statement, but it sounds hollow, so even Raoul recognizes it as no threat. Zeno isn't as difficult to handle as you pretend, old man. You can tell that to every single officer who's given up on detaining him. He's an overgrown kid. Hard to catch, but he's not dangerous. Maybe that's why you two get along so well? I'm not. It's time for dinner. I'll take Alice home and come back later. You can handle everything, Raoul? Leave it to me. Thank you. Stop Are we leaving? Messing with me. I don't need Raoul to watch over me. I think you do. See you two later. Dog trainer. Dog. 100%. So the issues is drugs in North Haven. Guess we are in USA after all, and the British English is just out of place. I don't know. I haven't seen much to point to that. But then again, I'm not very familiar with the US outside of the South. Bye-bye. See you again soon. No cursing in front of the kid, right? Growing up with Orion made her weird. You can just say you like her. Raoul finishes his coffee and puts the mug on the table. He stands up, smoothing out the creases of his shirt. Do you need to do anything else here? Otherwise, I suggest we go. There's a lot to check out. It's nothing more annoying than blindly asking people for information. You won't be asking people. I will. I gotta take a screenshot again. I think Mel will like both of these guys. Oh, New Haven? Like New Haven, Connecticut? Sir? Do those gloves need to be that shiny? He asks, knowing that, yes, he's very thankful that they are as shiny as they are. Raoul grabs his coat and shrugs it on. His voice is dripping with sarcasm. You're there to look scary and ensure that no one tries to mess with the weak human. Humans aren't exactly common in their division, for a very simple reason. They're helpless compared to what they're up against. Raoul is the only human officer on Orion's team. At first, Dante thought that a human would be a liability, but Raoul has proven himself to be a valuable member. It's not just about interacting with other humans. Raoul has a completely different view on things than most supernaturals, and while Dante often finds it irritating, it does have its advantages. I know he's good at what he does, but the supernatural department is a completely different beast from the standard human one. I don't get why he takes the risk. One angry supernatural and he's crippled or dead. Why are you staring at me? Why do you do this? What? Interact with you? Supernaturals? Working as an officer here, do you have no self-preservation at all? Not that Dante is one to talk. Are you worried about my health? Forget it. I'm just gonna get you really drunk sometime and ask again. That'll be less bothersome. If you're worried about others attacking me, just make sure they don't. That's a valid point. He still thinks it'd be better if Raoul worked in a place with more survivable dangers. Now come, the night is short. You think? Because I'm feeling like it's gonna be a very long night. Are we taking your car? No, I've got it parked near the Golden Cat. Let's walk. The Golden Cat is a pub frequented by supernaturals. Its name is based on the original owner's cat. Both Cersei and Dante frequent the Golden Cat after work. Cersei is the other character. I I don't really remember what she looks like. Um, she's in the screenshots, though, I think. Your choice. You walk for a short time before Raul speaks up again. Do you mind if I ask a question? Yes. A question for a question. I mean, at the station, you didn't even answer. Then you can ask another question after you answer mine. That is fine. Dante tilts his head to show his agreement. Why is it that Orion treats you like a child? I know he's older, but you and I are around the same age, and he doesn't treat me like that. Why is it that Orion is so worried about you? You're more than able to take care of yourself, but he's treating you like a child who shouldn't run around on his own. We just re-established that officers aren't allowed to work alone. Not that it stops Dante from trying sometimes. Of course not. But with how much he stresses that I have to keep an eye on you, wouldn't it be better if I wasn't a human? I can't stop you even if you do start a fight. A werewolf is above my weight class. Raul being a human is actually the point, not that Dante can explain that. Other than Orion, there is no one that knows Dante as anything other than a werewolf. The only reason Orion knows is that Dante's mother told him. But Raul doesn't have a reason to know. It's usually no issue, but in some cases, it makes explaining things a bit hard. There are similarities between hellhounds and werewolves that allow one to act as the other, but there are also some huge differences. Raul may hate it, but him being so much weaker than me is exactly why Orion decided to pair us up in the first place. With Raul around, not only do I have to make sure he stays safe, I also can't run wild. I'd risk injuring him. Annoyingly, Raul did hit that nail on the head, though. Orion is treating him like a child with no self-control. I think he's overly worried about me because he knew my mother. He was responsible or something. Did he know you when you were a kid? That is not an easy question to answer, for several reasons. No. Ah. It's complicated, I see. Raul just nods to himself, then stops asking. It's something Dante appreciates. Not that he'd ever say that out loud. My turn, same as before. Why did you end up working here, and how? The division doesn't take in many humans. I believe Orion was looking to add a human to the division even before I applied. When we had an interview, it sounded like it. Probably also helped that I was able to use my family name. Previous connections with supernaturals do make it easier for you to get hired. There's that, too. You're rich, and you obviously have connections. So why spend every night on the beat for barely anything? It's not a bad workplace. Everyone is polite, and Orion's a good superior. Seriously? You haven't worked another job yet, have you? He hasn't, so it's true that he can't compare Orion to someone else. If he put us on this case, he believes that we are the right people for it. Aren't you the slightest bit proud of that? No. That's a shame. You should be. Why? He's just using me. Raul was partnered with Dante as soon as he joined the force, but they know little about each other. It's hard to ask about someone else when you yourself are unwilling to talk. Not that Dante isn't curious. If I've got the chance right now anyway, where'd you work before joining our division? Another question? I'll owe you one. Other police stations, for humans. Then you switched over to supernatural cases on purpose? You don't stop, do you? It bothers me. It makes no sense. I want an answer, it will annoy me the whole night. It isn't as interesting as you think. I like working with supernaturals. None of you care about who I am, which is a blessing. Let me get this straight. People were sucking up to you before because you're rich with an influential family. And you didn't like that? I don't need you to understand. But try to believe me when I say it's really damn annoying when people think you're doing good work because of your name, and not because you've been working your ass off for it. Raul inhales and straightens his collar. Sounds like there are many stories he could tell about his previous job. I prefer to be judged for my own abilities, not those of my parents and siblings. Huh. Alright, that's something I can get. You can? Sounds nice to have people to do your bidding without needing to work for it. But if you do work, you should get the recognition, and no one else. Dante shrugs, sliding his hands inside his pockets. Still think you're stupid for putting yourself in danger, though. I guess I can be rather stubborn. but I've survived so far. Yeah, because I make sure no one mauls you to death. As you've established before, that's why you're my partner. You're doing a good job. Continue to make sure I don't die. I'm not your babysitter. Bodyguard might be the appropriate word. See, I was really thinking guard dog, but like, you know, maybe that conversation isn't something we should have on Twitch. Raoul's mouth twitches into a little smile that he's quick to hide. Although I doubt anyone can convince you to wear a suit. Or anything formal at all. Raoul's eyes move over to Dante, which is a bit of a shame. I'll have to reject your job offer. I'm stuck at the station for another while. Certainly stuck for tonight, at least. The first place of interest is over there. Let's get this over with. They sure are going for the guard dog arrangement. Yep, it's one I've written before, and it's one I love to see. Their first stop was indeed just the start of a long, long night. Many follow before the end is in sight. I'm gonna choke the next person here who wants to waste our time. As expected, or maybe feared, no one knows anything. Not only does it take forever to make them talk, they also end up revealing that they haven't noticed anything, other than a couple more bodies than usual. The relationships between the different groups of supernaturals are complicated, meaning that a corpse won't immediately cause others to react. With how close the place is to the slums, no one has the energy to care for strangers. I knew this case would be a hassle. This is the last place. Get it together. Raoul steps up to Dante's side. Over the years, he's learned to recognize most of Dante's body language, including the signs of his rising annoyance. Another thing that Dante would never say out loud is that Raoul helps. The way he riles Dante up is completely different. Somehow, it doesn't make him want to tear out anyone's throat, because he likes it. But that's another conversation we can't have on Twitch. But as much as his presence is a comforting one, it can't undo the strain on Dante's nerves. It's tempting to mix in with the crowd. There's alcohol here and loud music. People who want your company for a night, who couldn't care less about who you are. Even with those good senses. Oops. Thank you for bonking me. Even those with good senses would have trouble locating anyone in here, let alone Raoul. If Dante walks off, he'd be rid of him, and in this case, within a minute. A break, just for tonight. And tomorrow is another day. And maybe another break. Dante. Raoul grabs Dante's wrist. It's a light hold. Why are you always so quick to realize when I feel like leaving? I could probably just shake him off. Let's stay. Could, but won't. You'd be easy prey for anyone in here. Raoul stands out. He's human. He's wearing clothes that don't belong here, and he's handsome. Without anyone at his side, he might just get swept away. If the wrong person, and there are too many of those, got their hands on him, he'd never be seen again. Dante would be a pretty shitty bodyguard if he let that happen. Not to mention an even shittier policeman, though he cares less about that. I'm not gonna put him into danger. Dante leans back a bit and Raoul's grip immediately lessens. Yeah, I know what we're here for. Dante turns away from the crowd. Raoul sighs quietly, as exhausted as Dante feels. We'll be out of here sooner if you resist vanishing into the crowd for 2 minutes. You think I'd have left for only 2 minutes? Do you think you could have left for longer, knowing that it'd be wandering around the club alone? No, because Dante is still somewhat convinced that Raoul is severely underestimating the danger of supernaturals most of the time. Just like Alice, that's what having supernaturals like Orion around you does, warps your perception. Whatever, where to? Raoul's professionalism returns instantly. He glances around. I'd say the owner, considering he's conveniently wandering around over there. Catching the owner instead of some random staff member is half a miracle. The first of its kind for a night. Although... Raoul nods towards another corner of the room. That guy might know something too. The little group in the corner isn't hiding. There's small plastic bags being passed around. A dealer, huh? We don't have any evidence that the victim was on something, but the chances aren't low. A dealer's the best bet for tracking any paying customers. Then again, the owner of this place would have a wider network. Let's try the owner. Let's try the owner before he runs away. Dante walks off in the direction of the club owner, Raoul on his heel. The crowd parts fluidly, closing up again behind them. Dante can't remember the man's name. Didn't even recognize him, to be honest, but he doesn't need to. Once they're close enough, Raoul switches positions with him, now standing in front. Alfred Chadwick, the werewolf owner of Mirage, a club for supernaturals. While Alfred is the primary owner of Mirage, the rest of his pack, including his girlfriend Lucy, help him manage things. Though he tries to appear confident, Alfred is very concerned with making sure that neither he nor his business catch the eye of the police or the cartel. Prefers to be called Al, as he finds his first name to be uncool. Ugh, never. Not with that name. Al, if anything. But who's asking? Raoul whips out his badge, making the fake smile on the man's face freeze. Police. Damn! I don't need your kind around here. Leave or I'll call security. Al growls, showing off sharp teeth. There's no doubt he's a werewolf even without the gesture. The night has been long already. Seeing the provocative gesture towards his partner, Dante feels his patience thin out even further. With one large step, he's right in front of the guy, face close enough to feel his breath. When he growls, it's much darker. The sound has Al's eyes widening, whole body tensing up. Listen, you mangy mutt. If you call security, I can assure you that blood will flow. If you want this to end without anyone in the hospital, you will answer our damn questions. The more cooperative you are, the faster we're done here. Understood? Werewolves are good at gauging their opponents. The man stops showing off his fangs in seconds. Understood. Dante steps back, standing closer to Raoul now to show he won't allow any further threats. Al clears his throat, fixing his collar that hadn't been touched, and tries to regain his composure. No need to be so aggressive. Let me start. Raoul looks at Dante rather than Al when he asks his question, though it's the werewolf who answers. Not here. Follow me. Al leads them to a small room in the back. It's quieter than the main area, and no one's around to interrupt or overhear them. Al leaves Dante to close the door. He crosses his arms and leans against the wall, wary and defensive. What do you want? It's pretty simple. We heard about an odd fight right in front of your place. Someone died after a burst of aggression. What do you know about that? The police are looking into that? Well, it's to my advantage if you do. There's something really freaky going on there. I didn't see it firsthand, but I got the wildest descriptions of what he looked like when he died. Dante can only assume this is what Orion mentioned. I wonder what actually happened. But it's not just that one guy. I've heard this sort of thing happening more than once. The dead aren't the usual addicts too, either, but even some people who typically avoid drugs. Paying customers. If word gets out, I'll really start losing business. Raoul tenses up at the mention of more victims. Not a standalone case of sudden death, it seems. When did this start? How would I know? Not like I could go around counting days. But are we talking weeks or months? If I had to guess, weeks definitely. Can't exactly give you a time frame, but it's not been that long. How many deaths have you noticed? What kind of question is that? There's always been people acting up and dying one way or another. Slums are close and all that. The exaggerated stories are nothing new either. I just thought it was worse than usual, until I started losing customers. You didn't report any of the previous deaths? Al shrugs, looking uninterested. Started out more in the back alleys. Nothing too visible on the surface. Raoul rubs a hand over his face. You all are really... What else do you know about the ones who've died? Well, you already said that they act aggressive, though that's playing it down. I've seen a little succubus rush into a whole group of supernaturals without a second thought. Do a lot of onlookers, though I didn't see any of the weird shit that people have been talking about. Sober? Drunk? On something? What exactly do you think I spend my whole night doing? I'd say if you're noticing whether the people are dying or customers or not, then you're also noticing whether they're buying something off menu. Wouldn't know about all the details, but at least the succubus did like to party with a bit of something extra in her blood. But not a single one was the type to get that aggressive. What happened to the corpses? What happens to any corpse around here? If the police don't get to it in time, there's always someone happy to take a body along. I seriously don't know anything else. I swear. Your words are useless. Look, I don't want the police around here. You leave me alone, I leave you alone. That's how it's always been, right? Leave you alone once you told us everything. I have. So I won't have to come back here after finding something else? Al hesitates, eyes wondering. I did say everything I know about the dead guys, which is basically nothing. If you want something else, there's an odd guy in a hood who's been seen nearby. Stranger? Strange indeed. Fucking strange, that guy. How'd you describe him? Tall. Like... He motions with his hand, showing his size way above his head. Tall. Wears some odd dress. Oriental or whatever. Hood over his head. Everyone who's seen him says the same thing. He's scary. Intimidating. Made them freeze up and want to hide even when he was just passing by. Did he talk to anyone? Not a single word. Sounds like supernatural. What kind? No one knows. There's no scent on him. None. He just appears out of nowhere without a sound and vanishes just as quickly. Are you sure that the ones running into him just don't have a bad nose? If it was one person, sure. But I've already heard of a dozen people who have seen him. All kinds of supernaturals, too. Raoul turns to Dante. Don't vampires have no smell? They do have one. It's just very subtle. Not to mention that the smells of your environment stick to you. It's weird to say that someone smells like nothing. Suspicious, right? Stuff that changes your scent. But no one would go for nothing. Smelling like nothing stands out worse than anything else ever could. Not that you'd know, human. I don't need a dog's nose to understand that. A dog! Al gapes, then looks over to Dante, as if fully expecting a fellow werewolf to take offense at being compared to a dog. Little does he know that a hellhound doesn't appreciate being compared to a werewolf either. Yeah, let's go in on him. Honestly, you do look like a dog. One little growl and you tuck in your tail and lower your head like an obedient mutt. Al wants to get angry. He really wants to get angry. But Dante smirks, showing his teeth, and it's written on his face that he knows what Dante wants. A fight. Not one Al is gonna win. Gritting his teeth, Al turns his head away. Is that enough for you to leave? Anything else I can tell you is just random stuff. People having affairs, magic experiments failing, cartel doing cartel stuff. Colluding organization of several drug lords, the North Haven cartel caters primarily to supernaturals with very few of their products reaching human hands. Since they started working with Xeno, their products have caused significantly less side effects, earning them a less negative reputation even outside North Haven. There's not much known about the current leader. Museum burned down or something? I don't know. SSF was sniffing around for that last one. That tall, grumpy vampire with the white hair has been snooping. SSF, the Supernatural Secrecy Force, is a privately owned counterterrorism and intelligence agency secretly operating under political and financial support from multiple governments and private individuals. Their key priority is to shield the existence of the supernatural world from humans. The SSF has offices all around the world, but they hold more power in some places than others. Most SSF agents are supernaturals, but the higher-ups are almost exclusively human. Though the SSF claim to care for the best interest of humans and non-humans alike, their regulations often put supernaturals at a disadvantage. The supernaturals who have decided to sign up to work for the SSF are, at the best, distrusted by other supernaturals. At worst, they are completely ostracized. I wonder if Yale in this game will be some equivalent of Lovecraft's Miskatonic University, dealing with metaphysics, occult, and whatnot. Who knows? Maybe. That must be the guy that they mentioned, that aristocrat fellow. Abraxas. That might be more interesting to hear about. Dante tilts his head, tempted to ask more about it, but Raoul shakes his head. Something for later, then. I have one last question, then we're done. Get it out. Have you seen Xeno around lately? Huh? That has Al getting defensive again. What are you asking about him for? Suddenly it involves his business, so now he's clamming up, huh? Need to talk to him, too. Don't know. No idea. You don't look like you don't know him. Dante interrupts Raoul with a shake of his head. He's not going to say anything if you ask him like that. We're not out to get him or messing with your sales. We just want to talk to him, then we'll leave him be. Sounds like bullshit to me. You're the cops. Even cops have given up on catching him. We just want to ask him about any new drugs on the market. You say that, but... Fine, I do know who he is. Hard not to around here, but I wouldn't know where he is. He's here and there, wherever he pleases. Small fry like me couldn't keep an eye on him. Can't help you. That's very much in line with how Zeno behaves. Both Dante and Raoul know that. Alright, thank you for your help. Are you leaving now? Yes. Finally! Let me escort you out. This is the most motivated Al has been this entire conversation. Dante and Raoul do get escorted out, but the way the door slams shut behind them makes it clear they're not welcome back. I should have punched him just once. Wouldn't have helped. I mean, for the fun of it. It's worrying there are many more victims than we expected. Orion was right to think something is wrong. Area's bolt hole? Oh, Area's bolt hole? That seems provocative. Well, we've checked out all the clubs and any other places in the area that make sense. But since we haven't encountered anyone unusually aggressive or dead, we can't do anything else for the moment. It's just you see if you can find Zeno. He's not going to reveal himself if I'm with you, so meet me at the Golden Cat when you're done. I won't try for very long. Better than nothing. In the meantime, I'll inform some people about the stranger, just in case he's involved in all of this. See you later. Raoul doesn't wait for Dante to start complaining, leaving before he can get a single word in. How the fuck am I supposed to find that guy? Dante shoves his hands into his pockets, walking down the street. His best chances of running into Zeno is doing exactly that, walking around, just waiting for Zeno to show himself. If he's not asleep, who knows where, he's working at his lab that's also who knows where. And if he's not working, he's relaxing on some rooftop. As one of the main designers for an astoundingly large circle of cities, Zeno should be a more dangerous guy, but even the police aren't after him anymore. There's been so many attempts to capture and keep him, but he always slips out. Not to mention there'd be someone just as worse filling in his position if he's gone. Most of the time, Zeno is friendly. He minds his own business, and he doesn't pick fights. He's not a direct threat to others. Even a child would be safe around him. As long as you can make sure that he doesn't feed them anything weird. Zeno doesn't show up as he walks around. Dante's patience reaches its limits and he stops. Let's save again. Fuck this. I'm leaving. What? I was just about to stage a dramatic entry. Huh? Almost got the timing figured out, and now you've ruined all my work. Zeno, there you are. Zeno's sitting on top of a roof, but his voice carries as clearly as if he was standing right next to Dante. Here I am. You've been looking for me. I have. Come down. Zeno doesn't even consider it. No way. We must stay apart, for I never know when you might turn on me, taking advantage of me letting my guard down to arrest me. Have I ever even tried to arrest you? This whole time we've known each other? No. So I'm not going to start now. Calm down. Don't want to. I feel like our current distance is fitting. Something about the distance between our hearts. Are you ever going to stop talking nonsense? Zeno grabs his chest in a dramatic gesture. A cop and a criminal can't be friends. You being down there and I up here is the representation of that. Get it? Let's go with the first one. I thought we were friends. It's embarrassing to say out loud, but Dante thinks it makes sense to call Zeno a friend. They meet irregularly, but Zeno always stops to chat when he sees Dante. Even the occasional chases are nothing more than a game. For reasons Dante doesn't understand, Zeno loves running away from him. Though Dante enjoys chasing, so it does work out. Huh. Zeno's expression momentarily shifts from surprise to something else. He looks like he didn't expect that response, but he is happy about it nonetheless. Like a giddy child, he starts bobbing up and down. I guess we are. Great, now that we've established that. It's quite tragic, though. Even as friends, we can't openly spend time together. My superior officers at work knows that I know you. Relationship doomed from the beginning. Stop wandering off in your own world. Then again, relationships that develop despite the unavoidable obstacles between you can be especially sweet. For a long second, Dante allows himself to just close his eyes and inhale. Zeno! Yes? Get your ass down here, I'm coming up. Zeno claps his hands together. A small, colorful dust cloud appears, likely remnants of whatever he last worked on. You'd come all the way up just to have a chat with me? We're like Sherlock and Lupin. True freedom lies in breaking the chains of societal expectations. We are two people who can't be together, can't be apart. We don't care what the world thinks. What the fuck are you saying? I need a damn beer. If you make me climb up to you, I'm gonna break one of your bones for every second you've wasted. Up on the roof, Zeno cocks his head. You're so serious today. He gets up and steps off the ledge without a second thought. Zeno's body appears from above, hanging upside down, bouncing slightly as he stops right in front of Dante. Hey, look, I've been getting the hang of a new trick. It takes some practice and all the blood runs to your head, but it works. Without comment, Dante grabs Zeno by the waist and turns him around midair. Zeno squeaks like a toy, but doesn't struggle. I could snap him in half by accident. Finding himself the right way up again, the wizard stops hovering and places his feet on the ground. Oh, so he's a wizard. So wizards and witches, a subspecies of humans born with the ability to use their life force as magic. Their substantial life force grants them double, sometimes even triple, the life expectancy of normal humans. They are immune to most human diseases. Although it varies from one wizard to another, no wizard has an unlimited life force. When a wizard has exerted their supply, they must take time to rest and recover, otherwise they may experience magic sickness. Magic sickness is curable in the early stages, but if the wizard continues to ignore the warning signs, they risk never being able to use magic again. In the absolute worst cases, it can even lead to death. Throughout history, wizards have formed several secret societies, ranging from smaller covens to larger communities. What's wrong? Usually you play along for a bit. I'm not falling for the sad puppy facade. Not today. Not twice today, when Alice already got me earlier. I'm still working. I have to talk to you. No time for games. No time or energy. Zeno circles Dante once and makes a doubtful sound. You make it look like you have too much energy. You could use some calming down. Want something? I've got some stuff with me. Not right now. Alright, but if you change your mind, I've got a personal stash. I'll give you only the best. Just give me just shout in the street or something. I'll find you. Probably. Sit on the rooftop and howl? You're a werewolf, aren't you? I'm sure you howl very nicely. Remember to call you by howling in the future. But about the thing I'm here for. I'm all ears. Actually, I'm working on a spell that gives you a flying ear. Not an actual ear, I think. But you can make it fly around and you can hear what it hears. It's failing so far, but it's going to be fun. Zeno, concentrate. Concentrating. Listening. Do you know anything about a new substance that makes people abnormally aggressive? The majority of drugs in the area, at least for the supernatural, were created by Zeno. Other creators have little space to compete, and those that do are carefully selected and only make specific products. The cartel controls the whole system, to its own benefit. Fewer issues, more happy customers. Oh shit, what the fuck was that? That was weird! What the fuck? Okay, sorry. That... So I don't know what that was, but like the left computer monitor blinked off and on, and I swear the lights blinked as well, but the right computer monitor was unfazed. So I don't know what happened. All I know is it didn't turn off either monitor, and it didn't stop me from streaming because I'm still live. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. That was weird. That was the weirdest almost outage I've seen. Zeno's expression turns blank. A new drug? Anything you made or were involved in recently? Or any new substance from anyone else? You don't remember. Zeno pulls a hand through his hair, messing it up. It leaves a little trail of blue powder. There's so much stuff I work on and so many recipes. How can you expect me to remember everything? Customer confidentiality or something like that. I don't remember who came to me for what. You're so great at confidentiality that you forget their name before they're even out the door. Exactly. You get me. Do you remember my name? Dante. I'm honored. You're my sworn nemesis. Of course I would remember your name. How many people's names do you know? Like 15? 20? Should have expected this. The guy doesn't remember anything from 5 seconds ago if he doesn't want to. What a way to live your life. It's a nice life. You should try it. Not thinking about stuff that doesn't have to bother you is great. The music and your reading is so chill that I just jumped at the noisy gulls outside. Aw, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I can use that time and energy for other things. Unlike you right now. Sometimes, Zeno's suggestion actually does make sense. It's odd because usually nothing about him does. Rather than worry about who I'm working with or what they're doing, I prefer to think about nice things. Like my next meal, for example. We should go eat out together sometime. Aren't you just blabbing about keeping your distance? You don't have to go. I didn't say no. I'm also just saying. Dante blinks out for a moment. Thinking about his next meal does sound nice. Stop distracting me. Still have questions. And I still have answers. Or not. We'll have to see. You know nothing? I know nothing. Listen, it's not one of the usual party drugs. It's deadly. Kills people? It's what? From one moment to the next, it's like a switch is flipped. Zeno's tone changes completely. Who fucked that up? They aren't supposed to kill. Dead customers are bad customers, and that gets the police on our backs. Wow, he's pissed. Only people who are alive can buy more. That's just basic business logic. I work my ass off to make sure my stuff doesn't have bad side effects, and here comes some brainless designer messing it all up? Really? They're going to tarnish my name. Do you even care about your reputation? No, but this is a matter of principle. Which principle? Zeno awkwardly waves his hand. Something. I don't like my work being screwed up, that's all. You sure it's not someone selectively killing people? I'm not sure about anything. Our only guess so far is that everyone affected is taking the same thing. What a pain. Zeno lifts his hand, biting on the knuckle of his index finger. Our system is working so nicely, I don't want anyone messing with it. Let's say... Don't bite your finger. Stop that. What? Biting your finger. You're leaving marks. Zeno lowers his hand and covers it with his other one. Does the thought of someone interfering with his work stress him out that much? Zeno takes several steps back, increasing the distance between them. He waves at Dante, his smile the same as before. Well, it doesn't matter what it is. You're gonna find out who's messing with my customers' customers, right? I have no choice. Then I'll do the same. I'm sure we can fix the problem together. Dante, see you soon. See you again soon. Next time, let's have something to show for this case. Zeno does a little hop that lands him in midair again, quickly taking him up to another roof where he vanishes out of sight. You say that, but you're not going to remember, are you? Can't tell if he's a genius or an idiot. At least he managed to find Zeno and hear what he has to say. But I'd have liked something more useful. This whole night has been a waste. It doesn't help his mood. Dante rubs his hands over his face. Whatever, I did my work. Raoul should be waiting for me. Time to finish up for today. It takes a moment for Dante to find his way, but soon he's walking down another alley to get to the bar. Oh, interesting. Hmm. With the night ending, people are starting to return home, if they have one. Tired yawns, drunk ramblings, and happy hollering can be heard, though Dante takes the quieter streets on purpose to avoid them. It always helps, but only so much. Even the back alleys have other people in them. Dante quickens his pace, listening despite himself for any surly remarks or angry slurred muttering. He'd never been the type to ignore rowdy drunks. They didn't ignore him, either, which had been a blessing at least until Orion caught on. He wasn't really losing control, if some idiot on the street swung at him first. The fights were an easy way to burn off his restlessness, but when he'd first started working as a cop, Orion had hardly left his side at night. He used to drag Dante away from the busier streets, repeating over and over, like a broken record, and a very annoying one, for Dante to just ignore them. And he's right. Drunks don't make for challenging fights, anyway. They're a waste of his time. He's good at it by now. Ignoring them, not jumping at every chance. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to fight. Damn vampire. I should see if he'll fight me again soon. Orion is not to be underestimated as an enemy, which is why Dante has been trying to rile him up since day one. He's only managed to bait him once by bringing up Alice. Dante hadn't liked what happened after that. But the end result was positive. Orion had agreed he needed an outlet, so they'd started sparring here and there. Not half as often as Dante would like, but better than nothing. I'm going insane. Everything tonight is just messing with me on purpose. Fucking work, fucking case no one cares about except for Orion and some higher-ups I've never even seen before. That's right, when he has that thought that someone stumbles into Dante's path. Audrey, you're fucking walking! Dante flares up. The alcohol stench coming off the man is so bad that it itches in his nose. The man jolts, swaying from left to right. He's muttering something under his breath, but as he raises his head, the murmur quickly grows louder. It's incomprehensible nonsense, half syllables that are connected in no particular order, more sounds than words. They tumble over each other as the man's face distorts, veins bulging out and eyes wide open. He screams, a bestial cry, as he raises a fist, swinging it towards Dante wildly. Bastard! You picking a fight? Right now? Dante tries not to focus on the delight burying under the hanger of his words. He catches the fist. It's surprisingly heavy for a man with such a thin build, and throws a punch right back. It connects, hard enough that he can hear a crack. He expects the man to either back off, surprised by the resistance, or just keep swinging. What he doesn't expect is how the man turns, not at all reacting to whatever just broke. He bares his teeth, getting ready to bite right into Dante's hand. Dante pulls back his right hand, using the other to grab the man by the hair and swing him against the wall. God damn! There's a dull thud, and the man slumps down. Ah, shit. Come on, seriously? Dante groans. The man is not strictly human. Under the alcohol and the other sense of other supernaturals, he smells like wizard. Sadly, him being a wizard doesn't exactly fix his human frailty, and as Dante strains his ears, he can't hear him breathing anymore. Shit. The desire to ignore the situation is strong. If he's just killed a man, then that's going to become a giant mess. The guilt doesn't quite settle in. There's too many other emotions taking up all the space. But he knows that Orion wouldn't leave. Neither would Raoul. He is neither of them, but he wouldn't be able to look them in the eye if he didn't take care of this. Dante kneels in front of the body, quickly checking the man's situation. The impact against the wall was not bad enough to kill a person. The punch before that was worse, and even that appeared to have only broken the man's nose, doing no further damage. No, that man shouldn't be dead, but here he is. Ah, what the fuck? Throws a punch at me first, then has the audacity to die in front of me. Son of a bitch! Wait. Dante squints at the corpse. Aggression followed by sudden death? No way. Could it be? Dante reaches out to touch the man again when... Dante whips his head around, staring down the street. Seconds pass, but what he first thought was the sound of a single, isolated step doesn't return. This night can't get any weirder. He sighs, returning to face the corpse. He doesn't get to focus on it. This time, it's not an unknown sound. It's a voice, almost right next to his ear. Wasting no time to think, Dante throws himself in the opposite direction, scrambling to his feet and distancing himself from whoever has managed to approach him, without even audibly breathing. There is no smell to warn him of the stranger's presence. They smell like nothing. Oh, shit. They're just suddenly there, looking at the dead person, and then turning their attention towards Dante. He knows the stranger is looking at him without seeing their eyes. Ice seeps through his veins, an almost physical sensation as it steals his breath away. When the hooded figure straightens, their clothes rustle, but that's the only sound around them. This person is tall, wears some odd dress, oriental or whatever, hood over his head. Everyone who's seen him says the same thing. He's scary, intimidating, made them freeze up and want to hide even when he's just passing by. That guy the club owner talked about. The man is as tall as described, and his clothes are indeed odd. Considering the circumstances, he's definitely someone that needs to be interrogated, but terrifying. He's terrifying. Al's description sounded like an exaggeration. Unexpectedly, he was right. The sheer presence of the man makes even Dante want to hide away. But at the same time, how fascinating. I've never met anyone like this. He doesn't like to bow down, not even when he's as intimidated as he is right now. The different sides of him pull in opposite directions, ultimately rendering him completely motionless. Fight until the hierarchy is established. There is no surrender. A hellhound does not lower their head to someone who does not earn their submission. Oh, hot. Submit, because a fight is not necessary. This person, being, creature, is far above him. It's stupid to not understand this, and accepting another's strength is not shameful. His human side, quiet till now, chimes in. When you see someone scary, isn't it better to run? What do you know about this one's state? The hooded man talks, interrupting his thoughts. His voice sends shivers right down Dante's spine. It's not a request, it's an order. He has to answer. He doesn't try to fight this, at least. There's no reason not to. There's no reason to. I don't know them. Dante's voice is shaking. He swallows heavily and puts a hand on his throat, forcing himself to calm down. He will not stutter from fear like a helpless pup. But they might be one of several deaths caused by the same thing. The man hums. After a moment of contemplation, he moves closer. The closer he gets, the more Dante wants to leave. What is he? Never met anyone or anything like this before. What is he? What is he doing here? The man towers over Dante when they stand in front of each other. There's a pair of eyes shining under the hood, staring right into him. Caused by what? At this point, it's getting harder to breathe. Dante's instinct is screaming, run away or lower your head. Just stop looking. Stop risking his anger, and stop risking your life. I'm not gonna run away. Fear is choking his throat, but Dante doesn't move his eyes out of sheer stubbornness. He has run away too often. He's had enough of it, even in the face of potential death. You're not running away. The eyes under the hood narrow. Dangerous. I guess he isn't threatening us. I mean, his appearance is threatening and, like, his aura is threatening, but he hasn't made a direct threat to us, so... The thought is like a hand on his shoulder, steadying him. Dante forces himself to assess the situation as objectively as possible. The stranger isn't threatening him. Not at all. Neither his aura nor what's visible of his facial expression is an act of deliberate intimidation. The stranger is terrifying to stand across from, but he's not made any move to attack. This is his natural aura pushing others down, not a conscious act. He's just asking questions. The prey that run gets hunted. Stand your ground. Don't give in. It's hard to hold eye contact with the man, but the longer Dante does, the more fascinating his eyes get. He's old, very old. His eyes are not a lake, they're an ocean. Calm right now, but the waves can build up high. There's no desire inside them, and no threat. All this man is doing is looking down at a curious thing he encountered, giving it his attention for a mere few seconds. Breathless seconds pass. Then the man leans back again, and the pressure vanishes enough for Dante to inhale. Little things like you usually run away when I get close. You're not. How quirky. Who are you calling quirky? Continue on with your night, young hellhound. Don't forget to breathe. With that, the hooded man's attention span appears emptied. He turns his head up to the sky, pausing for a second. Then he walks off, odd clothes rustling softly with every step. By the time Dante manages to snap out of it, he's gone. Who was that? Someone like him would stand out everywhere. How is it that the whole city's not talking about him yet? Not to mention he knew what I was. It's impossible to tell the difference between a werewolf and a hellhound by scent alone. Did my reaction give it away? What else? When the fear is gone, there's nothing but awe left. That man is something even the most powerful supernaturals in North Haven would bow to. That thought is almost pleasing. Power struggles are common within supernatural communities. There's always someone planning to overthrow the current boss. If that man stepped in, Dante can't imagine that much would stand in his way. He's thought about it, but Dante has been holding himself back from joining the fights. It's not an easy thing. That desire is almost desperate, the feeling tearing his insides apart. But Orion has a hold on him. They have a deal. He's not going to mess that up. I'd love to fight that man, or see him fight, even if the chances are slim, even if I don't survive it. His body yearns for something he can't quite grasp. He pushes the urge down. Stop that. Dante shakes himself. I'm not a pup anymore. No more self-destructive urges. The man is gone, and it's best not to think about him. If he does think too much about him, he might just try to follow him. Dante shakes his head. Back to work. There's still a corpse on the ground. Pushing away all stray thoughts, he approaches the body. Dante checks the man from head to toe one more time. The distraction helps. Looking at him now, Dante finally understands what Orion meant about knowing a victim if he saw one. God damn it! Sorry, my camera broke again. Oh, let me unplug this. The skin of the corpse has developed thin cracks in the short time since he collapsed. It feels hard, as if the whole body's surface is hardened. Well, at least it looks like this wasn't my fault. That's something. The cracks have the slightest discoloration, but that's about it. He can still move the corpse's joints, so whatever has happened is mostly superficial. What the organs look like, he couldn't say. I've seen people's insides before, but I don't exactly have an interest in them. That's a job for pathology. I'll have to get someone from the station to fetch the body. Sadly, he doesn't have a phone. They're giant brick-shaped things, unwieldy and inconvenient to carry around. Raoul keeps one on him, but he's not here. He does, in theory, have a pager. But that's exactly where it always is, on his desk, back at the station. He just really hates that thing. Contacting the station is what he has Raoul for, right? Still, there's no way he's going to carry a corpse on his back, so he has to inform someone. Time to wake some people up. There's enough houses around. He just has to sniff out a supernatural household, then ring loud and long enough until he can tell someone to call the station. No annoyance can fight against the power of a police badge. The poor couple Dante woke up wasn't happy, but neither was he, so they made the phone call obediently enough. Having gotten confirmation that someone was coming, Dante decided that his day was over. The couple will make sure no one steals the corpse. The bar is still open. When Dante enters, there's a handful of people sitting here and there. The Golden Cat is his favorite bar. It's a cozy place frequented by both supernaturals and humans in the know, which is perfect for enjoying a beer after a long day or night of work. A bit further inside, Raoul is already waiting for him, sitting with two people Dante recognizes. Guess it's good that he had company while he was waiting. Halfway decent company, even. You can consider Edgar good company for Raoul. They're both decent people with morals and all that. Edgar Thorne, a human who's worked with Circe for 20 years now. He manages their clients' paperwork and anything else Circe doesn't want to deal with herself. Thorne Investigations is named after him. Oh, I guess Circe must be like a private detective or something. Circe, probably not so much. A vampire private detective known... Called it. Known for hunting her own kind. Circe's whereabouts prior to her appearance in North Haven are a mystery known to few, but rumor has it she was once the internal companion of a primordial. The bar isn't that big, so they notice him, and the moment he enters, Dante feels Circe's eyes on him and involuntarily rubs over his arm, where the hairs are standing up. He takes a breath to calm himself. Nothing happened. Dante stops at the bar to order a drink first. He can hear Circe talking about him. Okay, so that must be Circe, and that must be Edgar. Is he avoiding us? I think he can hear you. Yes, that was the point. Oh, cute! He ignores her for now, reaching up to pet the cat sitting on the counter. Cinna, the namesake of the golden cat. The first Cinna belonged to the original owner, but both passed away long ago. The current owner's cat bears a striking resemblance to her, which might be why she is also known as Cinna. She's the namesake of the bar and probably the only cat that doesn't care about getting petted, even when the one doing it is a supernatural. Cinna purrs as he strokes her fur, leaning into the touch. She's warm, small, and weak. Complete opposite of the man just now. A rough tongue licks the tip of his finger. Cinna experimentally gives it a bite to see if it's not something edible, and turns away in distaste when it's not. Bold kitty. Not even worried I might hurt you, huh? He scratches her ear, but in a classic cat-like manner, the animal suddenly decides she's had enough and jumps off the counter. As she vanishes somewhere underneath the tables, the bartender returns. Here's your beer. Thanks. Beer in hand, Dante finally joins the group waiting for him. He takes the seat next to Raoul, pretending he doesn't notice Circe's unblinking stare. Circe and Edgar are a vampire and a human, who run a private investigation agency together. Dante would find their partnership weird if he didn't know Orion and his wife. We still make two abnormal pairs, two weak humans working together with two dangerous supernaturals. I can tell exactly why Raoul and Edgar connect with each other. Edgar and Raoul have a friendly enough relationship to chat whenever they run into each other at the Golden Cat. As a result, Dante and Circe have also started running into each other. Circe is as nice as she always is, which means she's not. She jumps at the chance to tease him. Did you forget to brush your hair this morning, or did you run into trouble on your way here? If anyone's picking on you, you can always let me know. I don't like animal abuse. He'd comment on that, but he has an easier retort, thanks to having heard about Abraxas being around. Just ran into Abraxas. Seen him recently? Circe doesn't even try to hide her disdain. Not really. Gotcha. I heard he and his agents were snooping around that museum that exploded, interviewing potential witnesses. Guess they'll be wandering around the city till that's sorted, keeping an eye on things. If you haven't run into him yet, I'm sure you will. A lot. Having gotten the reaction he wanted from her, Dante's focus shifts to what she might actually know. There's always something interesting happening when the SSF gets involved. The SSF, or Supernatural Secrecy Force, is not like the police. It's an international security and intelligence agency tasked with ensuring that the existence of supernaturals doesn't come to light. Abraxas is the captain of the SSF's North Haven branch. Dante doesn't care too much about them. They don't get involved with the police unless there's a problem, so they've never bothered him. Even when Abraxas does visit the station, it's got nothing to do with Dante. That doesn't mean he doesn't find their work interesting. It's entertainment, at least. Heard anything about that, though? I don't like animal abuse. It's a fun clip. Yeah, it was cute. Circe just shrugs. Her disinterest would be believable if she didn't rattle off the next couple of sentences so quickly, making it obvious she's trying to change the subject. Not sure what you're asking me for. I haven't got a clue what they're up to, and speaking from experience, it's best it stays that way. Actually, why do you even care? Aren't the SSF and the police supposed to stay out of each other's business as much as they can? Unless it's related to whatever the two of you are working on. Raoul wouldn't tell us anything, but maybe you will. Raoul takes a sip of his beer, the same way he sips from his coffee when Dante is talking nonsense. You didn't give me the chance to say anything. As if you would have told me the truth if I did. Cersei stares Dante down. He holds back the urge to comment that if she shared a story of her own, he'd be more inclined to talk. Well, since you asked so nicely... No. You suck. I don't. That's your job. Next to them, Edgar fidgets nervously, then interrupts them carefully. Okay, well, you two look busy and we're in desperate need of a drink. We'll leave you to it. What? Come on, Cersei. You've bothered them enough for tonight. How dare you? I'm perfectly lovely and pleasant to be around. Raoul offers a wave, looking faintly relieved when Edgar gets up. Good to see you, Edgar. Yeah, cheers. Cersei allows herself to get dragged away to another corner of the bar. Both Dante and Raoul watch them for a moment until Raoul glances at him. Can she hear us from over there? Dante shrugs, making himself comfortable in his seat. This close? Yeah, but she's not that curious about it. Especially not when she's already distracted talking to Edgar and the bartender. If you say so. Before we get into what happened, you ran into Abraxas? No, just wanted to mess with her. But they did mention the SSF at Mirage, so it's better if he's not on this case. Now give me a summary of what happened. And Zeno says he doesn't remember anything useful. Also ran into the hooded figure Al mentioned, who might actually be involved. And I found a corpse, so I woke up to some random people to call the station. Raoul stares at Dante for a solid 10 seconds. Dante stares back, silent. You know what? I take it back. Tell me every single thing you remember happening, in order. You serious? I didn't think your summary would be that bad. Maybe your instructions just suck. It was a summary. Could you be helpful for once? I'd like to finish up for tonight. So would I. Long version, then. Partway through his retelling, Raoul starts to frown. Now he's tapping the table, eyes closed in thought. Dante waits, letting him sort out whatever's going on in his head. Do I get another drink while he's thinking? Oh, done. Before we talk more about this, I have more questions for you. So many questions today. That is, sadly, a part of our job. Number 1. Putting aside whether Zeno is actually involved, and putting aside whatever relationship the two of you have, do you believe him when he says he doesn't remember anything about a new drug? He looked honestly confused when he said he didn't recall hearing about it, and upset when he heard that people were dying. From what I know of him, he does forget things easily. First 3 times we met, he couldn't even remember my face. But I don't think he would have lied if he could remember. It wouldn't be to his advantage to admit it. Thing is, he doesn't care about advantages and disadvantages. Zeno's been prattling on about all kinds of illegal stuff to me since we met. He doesn't think it's an issue. Raoul nods. Second question. What? Accepting my word without complaining? I just want to hear your opinion, nothing else. Doesn't mean I agree or disagree. That mysterious stranger you ran into, would you say he's on our side or not? As in... Does he want the unknown substance gone? Or to take it for himself? Or is he just curious? For the record, I'm going to continue calling it a drug because it's easier than talking about an unknown cause. Does seem most likely for now, though. Too many addicts involved. That man... There was something like a feeling that the fact that someone had died bothered him, at least the tiniest bit. Not to mention that I don't think he'd need it for anything. Money, power. You can get money if you have power, and someone like him is strong enough to get whatever he wants. I didn't meet him, so I'll take your thoughts into account for now. What do you think? I think that we should avoid a stranger who might be dangerous, unless we have a decent reason to assume that he's part of this situation. I haven't ever seen you worry about another supernatural strength. This is the first time. I don't think we want to run into him again. Dante both agrees and disagrees with that. As for Zeno, maybe he doesn't remember anything, but he knows something. The chance that any substance in North Haven passes him by unseen is just too low. It's not like Zeno filters who he works with. If he got money and time, he will take the job. I'd start by tracking down more dealers. If it's a drug, someone has to be selling it. Don't I get a say in this? You do. I've said what I would do. What about you? How do you think we should approach this? Oh, that's it. You've reached the end of the BTMO demo. Thank you for playing. To support the full game's development and for more news on Burn the Midnight Oil, check out our Kickstarter, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and Discord. All right. So that is the end of... Oh, they have? Okay, link it, please, because I wasn't sure if they did or not. So that's the end of Burn the Midnight Oil. Now, I do want to let you know there are two sides of this story. So there is also Cersei's side. Maybe we'll do that one another time, since we focused on Dante this time. I loved that. That was so much fun. I really like a good detective story. As many of us know, I'm always watching them. Usually when I am not streaming, it's because I got distracted by some kind of fucking detective story that I found somewhere, probably on Netflix or Apple TV or some stupid place. But I love mysteries, and this is a good one. They have a good setup, good characters, good dynamics. Really, really love the world building details. I am a huge fan of this. I cannot wait to play it. I wish I could have supported it. Oh, their studio is woman-led? That's awesome. Holy crap. All right. Well, there we go. Yeah. So they have all kinds of social media that you can check out. If you want to check out the demo yourself, maybe you were intrigued by Cersei's character and want to check out what she's about, you can go ahead and play that on Steam. I'll go ahead and link it here. The game does not currently have a release date, so I'm not sure when it will be coming out. Their Kickstarter is here to... Oh, I just found it the other day. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Wait, what? Oh, man, their Kickstarter ended, like, recently. It makes me so sad. God. The shit you lose out on not being on Twitter. That's okay. Their Kickstarter's here, too, if you'd like to read more about the game. You can't support it anymore, but you can, like, learn about the game. And, you know, if you're interested in it, give it a wish list on Steam. Maybe play the demo and leave a comment or something. I will definitely be leaving them a comment on their demo. Because I thought that was fantastic, and I hope more people play it. And that's all I have to say about it. So